Hey bookworms, we are going to do our candle for the Weekly Whimsy this quarter, or this week. Oh my gosh, already messing it up. So I've already traced on my candle here, and I went ahead and put some ink in. I left the flame blank with like just the pencil, and I'm gonna grab, where did my brush? There it is. I'm just gonna grab my round number 5, and I've got some water here. And then let's talk about the colors. So I've got a yellow, a pearl white, a bright white, gold, red, and black for now. I'm going to go ahead and do the background. And this is acrylic. I almost forgot to say that. This is acrylic. So I want to do the background first. I'll probably have to grab my heat gun to dry this out. So I'm going to go ahead and just get the background all put in. And then this will give us a place to put all these colors thrown by the candle, hopefully, if it works out like I have in my head. Since I'm using black, I got to be pretty careful. I hope you all had a wonderful start to your new year and are having fun with the cozy book for the winter. I'm enjoying it. And I'm using water just sort of to move this around, and I like the different depth. So I don't know if you will be able to tell after we dry, probably. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but it's sort of like different shades of black in the background there, which I really like because it creates almost like a natural shadow for different areas. So as I go along, I'm just going to sort of water this black down to give it some different depths. And technically, I guess it should be darker and lighter as it gets closer to the candle, but I'm not going to take the color all the way out. And I think I'm going to leave the sort of jagged outline around. It looks just sort of inky everywhere. I like it. I'm going to smooth out the edges out here just a little bit. But I really do love the different depths of the black, so that's fun. Looks cool. I'm creating a very like light, messy border around the edge. And then you can see I just hit my handle a little bit. I'm going to try to clean that up just a tiny bit. It's okay if it's a little dark because it's in a good spot for a shadow, but I'm going to try to rinse my brush out really good. Pick a little of that paint back up so it's not, see if I can do that. Dried. It's all right. Okay. Okay, I am going to hit this with my heat gun. I was debating not to do that. Oh, I already have it plugged in. I'm looking for it in my drawer. It's already over here. Okay. I was wondering. Forgot I moved it off of my table there. Alright, perfect. So the background is done. I've got my brush all washed out, and now I'm going to start working on the candle. So I want to do the stick in this first because the flame colors I'm going to use sort of to bounce off everything else. So I'm going to mix a little bit of my yellow ochre and a little bit of my pearl white. Get sort of just a wash down with a touch of white. Make it a little lighter. There we go. Sort of a yellowish color for my candle here. And grab some water because I want to wash it down a little bit more. There we go. Very nice. And then I'm going to touch in just a little bit in the black. Let's see if I can get just a tiny bit. I'm going to add some shadow under some of these drips while it's still wet. There we go. Okay. And then wipe my brush off. I'm going to grab just the gold. Make like a brass handle or holder here. Now I'll probably have to touch up my ink lines. And this is the gold, so it's like a metallic acrylic. It's a little more transparent than a regular acrylic. All the shimmery ones are. At least in my acrylic set they are. The pens, though, those are a different story. Those are much more opaque. Okay. I'm going to use a little bit of this gold to add a little more shadow to my candlestick too, because I like that. All right, I think that's pretty good. And then, let me see, I've got like a bronze color I'm going to grab. I'm going to see if I can add some more depth to my candlestick here, the actual holder. So I'm going to go right underneath some of these areas and try to blend them. Yeah, I like that. that's like the bronze color. Now if you don't have all these metallics, don't worry. Just use some gold, yellow and brown. You definitely still get some pretty depth the same way. Grab some for gold, use that to blend a little more. Okay, I'm liking that. All right, now I'm gonna rinse my brush out really good. I'm gonna use a little bit of white on the candle stick itself to brighten up a few spots. So just bright white on these drips here. And I'm going to do a little white on some of these parts of the brass, just to brighten it up a little bit. Okay, I like that. All right, so now we're going to start working on the flame. Okay, so closest down would be the bright white, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and put some white, straight white down in here underneath, and then I'm gonna grab a little of yellow and blend that right into the white and work that upward. And then a tiny, tiny, tiny bit, a touch of red. And I have not cleaned my brush, and that will create like a blended color. So you can see I went around the flame with the red. That's looking pretty cool. I'm gonna wipe my brush off so I can blend these colors a little better. Look how neat that looks. That does look good. I like it. All right, I'm gonna add some more white right in here to brighten that up. And then I'm just gonna keep building my color now that I've got good blend. I want a little bit brighter red out in here on the outside. Okay, and now my plan is to make like a glow. So let's see. I'm gonna add a little red and a little of the yellow to create like an orangier color. And I'm gonna go out here. So I'm just going back and forth and creating like circles. And then now I'm gonna wet my brush down before that paint dries and sort of blend that out. Very cool. All right, I'm gonna hit this with my heat gun because I don't wanna mess this up, because I'm gonna add a little more. And now I'm gonna add, I think, a little more yellow to that orangey color I had, a little more water to water it down. And I'm gonna add a little bit more glow around the flame. Rinse my brush out and then blend that out more. You can see that orangey color that I already laid down sort of popping through. I'm going to take a touch of that red again while it's wet Get some more of that reddish glow in there. Wash my brush out a little more red than I wanted. It's alright though. I'm gonna work it till it works. Work it till it works. Alright, that's looking pretty good. So I've got a pretty good glow all the way out. And then I think I want to do a little bit brighter right here. So I'm going to grab a white and then a little bit of the yellow. I'm going to try to create a brighter glow right around the flame right in here. Rinse my brush back out, take the paint out, and then use this water to create a better halo. Alright, that looks pretty cool. Alright, now I'm going to hit it with the heat gun again. And then I'm going to do it again with that light color because I feel like it didn't brighten up as much as I wanted it to. There we go. Hit a little more straight red right along this flame here, and then some more yellow right in here. Rinse my brush off, some more white. Just trying to make this a little more vibrant in there. Okay, love it. All right, so now I want to make like this orangey color I mix, the orangey watered down color. I'm going to touch, let's see, I need a little brighter. Let me add some white to that. And a little brighter glow. Some of the parts of the candle and the candlestick thing part, the brass part. Okay, so that we get a little more glow going on. So I'm just touching some of the reddish orange color on those highlights that I created earlier. I like that. Trying to see if I want more glow around my candle. I feel like I still need a little more glow. That's a little too bright. Rinse that color off. Okay, let me hit this with the heat gun again. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. All right, a couple more things I want to do. I want to clean up some of the black around my candle here. And then I want to deepen up, especially right underneath the candle down here, to give it like a shadow. And I think that's it. Pretty happy with that there. All right, so a beautiful candle in the dark evening of January. Add some warmth. So you can see the, here, let me hit that really quick. You can see the depth of the black, how it's sort of washed out. I like that. There it is. All right, I'm excited to see your guys's. I hope you're having a great day. We'll see y'all soon.